Good late evening from Southeast Asia. This will be volume or episode podcast number 241. Yeah, I'm sure. Really, I'm sure. Of the alienanalprobe.com podcast things designed to, make people think, I hope. I'd like to see people think for themselves a little more than they actually do. Oh, that would be something, wouldn't it? All tapes are copyright 2023 by stockphotosworldwide.com. You can go there to get to the aliens, or you can go to alienanalprobe.com. You can go to theyclaim.com. You can go to killerclownsfromspace.com. You can go to alienwhispererproductions.com and a bunch of other ones. You can also go to the RSS feeds. RSS.com is one. There are a million others. There's Spotify, there's Apple, there's, whatever. I do not keep up with them anymore. If they elect to take on the podcast, then they do. And if they don't, they don't. I do not care. I have more important things to worry about. As everyone knows, we have a giant collection. We started out 9,400 accounts. Accounts, yeah. Accounts doesn't mean necessarily truthful. We have reports, okay, of interactions with aliens, stuff like that. We have about 8,000 left. And we go through them one by one, line by line. We look for the bullshit. If we find the bullshit, we delete them. If we think maybe there's a shred of truth to that somewhere buried in there, and then we take a little pinch of sand, a big pinch or a little pinch, or a molecule, or 1 grain, and we drop it into a bucket. And if the bucket's ever full, then we believe in aliens. As of this volume, it's 90% plus a smidge. There's a picture of it on alienanalprobe.com. You scroll down there, you see the cat shitting it. Okay. So I mentioned before that I have a fledgling interest in quantum things, all things quantum. My brain is not big enough to understand it well. It's just like the Grinch had 6 sizes too small. I understand some things well. I can raise a shipwreck off the bottom of the ocean really, really well. I can save lives in the North Pacific really, really well. I'm freaking good at it. Really. Pretty much genius level. I've rescued the Coast Guard twice. Come on, people. 321 rescues. Okay. All right. Whatever. I used to believe that the research of alien things was the most important thing mankind could do. God, I believed that for most of nearly all my life. What else could be more important than that? And it is really a really stinking important thing. But I have come to realize in my extreme old age, I am older than Yoda. I'm sorry, I am. I don't know. I look old, but I don't look nearly as old as I am. I don't know why. It doesn't really matter because I feel it. I feel 1,000, just like Yoda. What I have come to realize is that all things quantum are far more important than all things alien, because aliens, the understanding of aliens and the alien phenomenon, is really just kind of a bump in the road along the path of understanding all things quantum. If you understand all things quantum, you will necessarily understand most things alien. Quantum is where it's at. That's our deliverance. That is the little shreds of it that I understand are mind-blowing, about 84,000 times beyond the alien phenomenon. Aliens are interesting. I still love hate them, scared of them. But things quantum are, man, like the holy grail of understanding, and we've just barely scratched the surface of it. We have all kinds of theories, which may or may not pan out. I'm not going to say I believe this. I'm going to say I see it as a possibility, and I'm really, really good at extrapolating things. I think possibly the knowledge of things quantum might possibly someday explain the mechanics of life and death. I'm not making that promise. I'm just saying my sense of extrapolation tells me maybe that's a possibility. I was always pretty good at extrapolating stuff, but I became far better at it when I went into the rescue business in the Northeast Pacific Ocean. I remember one case, we got a call right about midnight. The Coast Guard was on scene about, 10, 15 miles from our base. And they had sort of stumbled upon a salvage vessel out there that had two divers down. They were trying to work on a wreck at 240 feet in the essentially the ocean. It was worse than the ocean because it was an area that had extreme currents. And these divers had gotten themselves down there, and one of them they couldn't communicate with at all. The other one they were communicating with, but at 240, he was only breathing air. He's a dumbass. I'm sorry, he's a dumbass. That's all there is to it. He's just a fruit. He's breathing straight air at 240. I did a whole episode on this case. And the Coast Guard came across this guy, and he'd been down. He was trapped on the bottom at 240. He'd been down there 2.5 hours, I think, by the time they called us. We were the only people in the whole area that had any kind of deep dive capabilities, and quick response was our thing. We were given lights to put on our vehicles so we could cut through traffic and stuff and get to the tugboats and the rescue boats and stuff. So they called me at midnight. I said, "Hey, we got these divers trapped down there, and we can't do shit. Coast Guard doesn't have divers. I don't know that they do now. They did not in those days. Their personnel were prevented from putting their faces under the water. It was the most bizarre thing you ever saw. Well, I don't. Maybe it was. Maybe it wasn't. They had to draw the line somewhere. They didn't. Are they? Yeah. Are they divers? Or are they? Is the Coast Guard an underwater team? No. Okay. So they had to say okay. So they called me and they said they got these guys trapped down there, and their support vessel, which was a really big boat, their support vessel was reporting that their compressor, which was supplying air to the one diver was getting surface supply, the other one was not, and their compressor was crapping out, and it was running out of gas. And the Coast Guard got him a little can of gas. This is a big operation. Why they're running a gas compressor, no one ever knew. It should have been a big diesel unit, and there should have been 2 or 3 of them. Anyway, their compressor was crapping out. It was running out of gas. The Coast Guard got them a can of gas, so they poured that in there. Well, that stirred up a bunch of dirt in the tank, and so it was running really rough, and they had to have somebody tend it. And every time it tried to die, they had to fiddle the throttle and to keep it running. And this guy's at 240. He's been there 2.5 hours. He should not have ever been at 240. Not for 1 minute, but he'd been there. It was just a fuck up. I'm sorry, it was a clusterfuck. The whole thing, the whole operation. And as it turned out, the Coast Guard portion of the rescue, the attempted rescue, was a clusterfuck also. I did a whole tape. I don't remember. I think you go back in the tapes, it's labeled Heavener, because that was one of the guys' names. Anyway, the Coast Guard said, okay, this is what we got, and what can you do? And instantly, I'm thinking, my mind just went into high speed, and I'm thinking, okay, all the motions of getting to the tug, getting the crew to the tug, getting the tug underway, getting out to the scene, that's all automatic. I'm thinking, what are we going to need when we get there? What are we going to do when we get there? And before I was even off the phone with the Coast Guard, I knew that their compressor was not going to keep going. It was just a miracle that it was going at all right at that moment. It's going to take us an hour and a half to get there, and it's not going to keep going. Hopefully we can get there before it completely craps out. And we will have to plug our big compressor into their shit compressor to keep this guy alive until we can figure out, if we can save him or not. And I'm thinking, okay, now we're going to need, what fittings do we need to pipe our air supply into their air supply? And I just went through a quick scan of what all the fittings possibly might be. And before, right in mid-conversation with the Coast Guard, I told somebody in the office there, get these fittings, get this and this and this and this, do it now, do it fucking now. Do not fuck around. If you have to go break a window in a hardware store, get the fucking fittings. If we don't have them in stock on the tug, get the fucking fittings. I don't care what you have to do, get the fittings. And so that took, 8 seconds. And so that was one thing on the way to being taken care of. And we had about 30 or 40 or 50 other things that had to be taken care of, arranged before we even left the dock. And I wanted those things arranged so that we were not delayed leaving the dock. And so in that business, the whole point is in that business, I had to learn extrapolation. Extrapolation is you got a data point here, you got a data point there, you got another one, and then you don't have any more data points. And okay, what do you do then? You just stop, you just, go deer in headlights, and you just go catatonic, and you say, well, fuck, I don't know what to do now. No, you extrapolate. You say, I need this. I will probably need this. I will probably need that. This will probably happen. I need to be ready for that, and you do like that. And you, after you do that for a number of years, like I did, 321 rescues, your brain begins to think that way all the time, and it becomes, girlfriends hate it. Oh, fuck, they hate it. Oh, God. Oh, it just drives me crazy. Because you extrapolate everything, everything they have an idea to do, you instantly, you can't help it. You forevermore, the wiring of your brain has changed. You extrapolate. And so they're saying, well, I think I want to go shopping today. And you're going, ka-chunk, ka-chunk, ka-chunk. Let's see, shopping. Let's see. I want to make sure I want to air up that one tire in the car. Let's see. We have got enough gas. Yes, check. And you're just going on like that, for some period of time before you actually get in the car and go, And when you're still 5 miles away, you're thinking, okay, what's going to be the most strategic place to park in case there's a problem at the store, And you just go on like that. And I'm stuck with it. No, I'm stuck with it. So that's where I come up with this. And I'm sorry, I'm not gonna boast, but I'm fucking good at it. I really am. 99% of the time. Every once in a while, I screw up. But anyway, I ain't no alien, so I screw up. I'm human. Sorry. I apologize profusely from the bottom of my heart for being human. Really, I do. I'm sorry, I do. My computer screws up too, so to hell with it. So that's where this notion came from about quantum physics solving potentially. I'm reaching on this one. But I can see the light at the end of this tunnel. where quantum physics, quantum mechanics, quantum something might maybe actually get a handle on the whole time, space, live and die, reincarnation thing. I have not studied that really all my life because I don't do woo-woo stuff. I don't, there's no data there to, there's no data. There's nothing to extrapolate from, really, not really. It's really a gray, murky, muddy, miserable kind of a thing to study because there's just not, there are some data points. The people who are dead for 5 hours, and then they come back to life and they talk about where they went and stuff like that. Well, there are a few, precious few data points there. There are some data points. And I know a few data points personally from my own personal life. But traditionally, I have not gone into the woo-woo, life and death, what happens after we die. I have not gone into that because there's not enough meat there to tackle. But for the first time in my life, as I get into quantum physics a little bit, as much as my tiny brain can absorb, I naturally take what I'm learning and extrapolate it out. And I say, well, what can this solve in the future? Maybe not in my lifetime, maybe in 100 years, 500 years, 1,000 years of more and more understanding of quantum physics. What can quantum physics do for us? Well, no, that's not, no. What can quantum physics is just there. It just is, quantum physics is not going to do anything for us. It just is there, whatever. The dirt in the ground is not going to do anything for us. We must understand the dirt in the ground and learn to use it and plant crops in it and shit like that. Quantum physics is the same thing. We must learn what it is. And once we begin to have understandings of what it is, then we can begin to say, well, let's see, quantum physics can do this for us, or not. And I'm just wondering, the first time in my life, I'm wondering if quantum physics can unlock, well, it can unlock time-space. I know that. I'm positive of that. It will probably eventually completely unlock the tricks and secrets of time-space. That ain't going to happen in my lifetime or yours. That's thousands of years probably down the road, at the very least. Well, to fully understand it, thousands of years, maybe tens of thousands of years, maybe hundreds of thousands of years to fully understand that aspect of it. But life and death may be a function or a byproduct of time-space. It may be. If it is, we will eventually unlock it. Now, having said that, I've gone through these 9,400 alien reports. I've gone through them 3 times over decades and decades. And lots of people who claim they met the aliens, they ask them questions, is there a God? What the fuck? And the aliens have various answers. And one of the big questions is there life after death? And the aliens have various answers. So that makes me nervous. The aliens know all kinds of stuff about quantum physics. And there's still no alien consensus about life after death. They will answer crazy shit. Different things. Yes, no, maybe, like that. So that could mean that quantum physics is not going to explain the whole death mystery. That could be what it means. Or it could be that the aliens, a million years advanced from us, let's say, still have not unlocked that aspect of quantum physics. But maybe they will. So it's a big gray area. But extrapolation tells me that it is remotely possible. Maybe. This is as far as I would ever extrapolate anything in this lifetime. Possibly, quantum physics will begin to unravel the mysteries of death. I'll tell you, you can go online, you can go on YouTube, you can go all kinds of places and see all kinds of stories about, supposed past lives and kids who wake up when they're 2 and they tell somebody about their past life in ancient Egypt, and then the speculation begins and it goes endlessly forever. Maybe the kid knows about places in ancient Egypt and people say, oh my God, well, that's proof positive he was reincarnated from some Egyptian something, and then the investigators really get in there and they say, well, no, he could have learned that from this source and that source, and it just rages on forever. So watching that stuff and reading that stuff and studying that stuff does not do a lot for me, because they never get to anything conclusive. And I don't think they ever will outside of quantum physics. But I have a story, and I saw this play out. It's one of the few things I ever saw actually play out with my own 2 eyes. And this leads me to believe that quantum physics, this is a real thing. This is a real thing that happened. It's a real phenomenon. If something is real, I believe quantum physics can explain it. And this series of events that I'm going to talk about is real. I saw it over a period of many years. And I'll tell the story. And then, pretty soon we'll get to the aliens. When I was a kid, my family adopted an Indian baby, right from the mother's arms 5 minutes after birth. I don't think she ever even held him. In fact, I think that was actually a policy. She couldn't hold him. He was an American Indian boy, and they took him in and gave him as good a life as they could give him. Okay, when he was about 3, I was just leaving home. He had been my little brother. He had been my great, beloved little brother. But it was time for me to leave home. And they didn't want him to be alone. So they adopted another Indian boy. He came from a completely different tribe, completely different geographical location. And also, again, he was taken from the mother. She never got to hold him. And in this particular case, I'm positive that was the case because the doctors told us that. So they adopted him, brought him home. And now, the first Indian boy was going to have a little friend. That was the whole plan. This Indian boy, and nobody ever knew who the mom was or anything. I mean, that was all secret, especially in those days. That was way, way, way long ago. That was like a nuclear secret, So this little boy, he's an average little boy. He turned out to be not such a good little boy, but that doesn't mean anything for this story. When he got to be, I would guess, 18 months, and he was talking, we had a place that we had to go that was on the other side of town. And we had to go there pretty regularly. And that route took us through a neighborhood, an area. And we made this trip probably once or twice a week. It was probably 8 miles, something like that. No big deal. And this little boy, when we went through a certain area, he would jump to whatever window he could get to in the car And he would press his face against the glass, and he would start saying, who that? Who lived there? Who there? Look at that house. I want to go to that house. And I mean, the smart people among you know exactly where I'm headed with this. And we just indulged him, we just let him, you're not hurting anything, just let him look and let him talk. And we began to wonder about it, because on every trip it was the same house, always the same house, exactly the same house. And this went on for probably 8 years. Let's see. No, more than that, probably 10 years. And of course, as he got older, he got more articulate about talking about this house and wanting to go see the people in this house. And what? It was just a strange house. We never, hell, it was kind of a dumpy little house in a dumpy little neighborhood. And, whatever, nobody ever indulged him at all. We just listened to him and smiled and forgot about it. We never extrapolated that out at all. And when he was probably, no, he could have been 12, so this could have gone on for 12 years. He could have been 12. We got a letter, the family got a letter from an attorney. And this attorney said, the biological mother of this boy has somehow subpoenaed or something hospital records, and found out that you guys adopted this boy, and she'd like to know, very respectfully, she'd like to know if you, the family, would be amenable to letting her meet the boy. And everybody thought about it for a while, and they thought, well, hell, why not? What can it hurt? He's 12, he's 13, 14, his life is with us, with this family. She's not asking to take him away or anything else. She just wants to meet him. And we thought, well, that's okay, that's fine. And so they wrote back and said, okay. So they set up the meeting, and the mother showed up for the meeting. And she was an Indian woman from his tribe, obviously. And she was down on her luck. She was a drinker and a druggie, and no education to speak of, and just down on her luck. But who cares? She's the mother of this boy. Who cares what? She is what she is. Take it or leave it. Suck it up. And so we brought him into the room, and the connection between the two was electric. It wasn't, hi, how are you? I'm your mom. It was, God, it was a tearjerker. There was a lightning bolt that passed between them. I swear to God, you couldn't see it, but it was there. You could feel it. You could feel electricity. And they went to each other and hugged and sobbed. And there was a period of that, 15, 20 minutes, whatever. And then everybody sat down and we began, talking like, hey, how you doing? What's your life been? Where do you live? Like that, on and on. Well, she had left the reservation, and she had met a guy. He was another drunk and a druggie, and they lived in a little house over in such and such a neighborhood. And we thought, what? What do you mean? Because his reservation had been hundreds of miles away. And we thought, what do you mean you live in a little house in what neighborhood again? And she said the name of the neighborhood. I can't remember it now, but it didn't matter. And we said, well, how long have you lived there? And she said, about 13 years, something like that. That's where she lived when the boy was born. He was born in the hospital. And as I said, he was taken immediately. She didn't get to hug him, nothing, just gone, just born and gone. But she was living in that house. And we said, well, exactly, where is this house? What's the address? And she gave the address. And we looked it up on the map. And that was a house. And she had a picture of the house. And she showed it to us. And the boy went just about crazy. He's just yelling, "That's my home. That's my home." And then the tears started. And everybody sobbed and hugged, and we talked about it. But what can you talk about? It is what it is. You're not going to solve it by talking about it. It is what it is. What happened, happened, and you don't know why. So what light can quantum physics shine on that? That's certainly some kind of connection there that transcends our known physical world. Now, there are a billion stories like this all across the net. You can read a billion of them. Some probably are made up, and some of them are true, and some of them are exaggerated. And that's why I don't read them, because you can't trust them. And I don't care if you trust this one or not. It doesn't matter to me, because I was there. I saw it. I know what happened. I saw it. I saw him, claw at the window every time we went by that house. I don't know if quantum physics can solve the riddle of death, but I think it can solve the riddle of that. And if it can, then the study of aliens is, that's cool. It's pretty cool. I want to know. I'm not going to stop studying them. But they're just a little tiny bump in the road along the path of understanding quantum things. And that just fascinates the hell out of me. It's like when I first came to the conclusion that aliens were real, and it took me, I'm not supposed to say that on here. I'm supposed to keep my opinion secret. Okay, now you know. Well, I mean, fuck it. The government, the U.S. government came out starting in 2017 saying, they're real. They're making public announcements. They've made, I don't know how many dozens of these announcements all through the years now up to 2023. So 6 years, they just keep saying this. They're real. Here, look at these videos. These are real. These are not from this earth. Come on. They spent the last 50 years trying to poo-poo the whole alien thing and making people look foolish if they believed in it. And now they're saying aliens are real. Really, we're saying this. This is official. This is. Why aren't you scared? Why aren't you going crazy? And everybody's like, yeah, fuck you. What? We knew this. The first time you told us they were bullshit, we knew they were real. So this is not really news. So anyway. Aliens are cool, but quantum things are cooler. Okay, so anyway, now we're going to get to the aliens. In the background, you probably noticed we have a raging little monsoon floating through here. Welcome to the South Pacific. This is not a storm. Well, it is. Yeah, it's a storm. It's a monsoon. It's not a typhoon. It's not even approaching, not even remotely a typhoon. It's not even a baby typhoon. It's just a monsoon. It's just not the result of any particular weather system. Just a monsoon. And it's cool. They're cool. They dump a lot of water, and they boom and they crackle, and so we're going to let that play in the background. We're going to leave we're going to take out some of the street noise, a little bit of the rain noise. We're going to leave the thunder at full bass. So if you got big old speakers, crank it up, baby, and just let them boom, scare your neighbors. put your speakers out on the back porch and broadcast kaboom, kaboom, and they'll run outside. Oh my God, the sky is falling. Anyway, this was a cool monsoon. This was not a really big one. It was, on a 1 to 10, it was a 6. Okay. Yeah, 6. Yeah, no more than a 6. But this time of year, these are coming, once or twice a week. Typhoons are coming once or twice a month. And I'm sorry, I spent much of my life having to go out in typhoon-like conditions. We went out on one rescue where it was blowing 88 knots, or whatever that translates into miles per hour. I can't do the conversion anymore. 111 or 108 or something. I don't know, miles an hour. And the Coast Guard had dispatched to the same rescue mission, and they got halfway and turned around because they said they were going to sink and die, and we kept going, and we did it, and they didn't. So, we did some shit. So anyway, okay. Monsoon, enjoy it. and then we have our cat Franklin. No, not Franklin. It's Frankenberry. Frankenberry. That's his name. The cat. He's bopping around in the background somewhere because he likes monsoon. Okay, so we're going to. What we do always is spin the dial, and whatever report pops up, that's the one we start with. And then we pick it to death and make fun of it, give it the middle claw, swear at it, get angry at it. If it's a fake one, I get really freaking angry. Oh God, I hate those. They really piss me off. People wasting my time and lying to me. I hate that. If people want to make a report and they're just mistaken about some shit, that's fine. That's honest. But to outwardly, blatantly, purposefully lie to make up a report for whatever reason, that just really makes me angry. So, okay, first one is Cheadle, Cheshire, England. And if it's from England, that means we got to translate it from Swahili. That's where they get the accent, That's why they had that weird accent, because they come originally from, I think it's called Swaziland, Eastern Africa. And they just hung on to that accent, and never learned proper English. I don't know why, when they were trying to put the English language together in England, I don't know why they didn't just ask the Americans, because we speak the proper damned English. And we could have taught them, proper accent, proper pronunciation, get really stupid old Swaziland, Swahili words, but they didn't listen. So now they speak like ferrets, Okay, October 1988, time 8, I'm sorry. Sometimes I mumble, okay? October 1988, late night. A security guard patrolling the grounds of an old mansion was confronted by several small figures wearing black and green loose-fitting uniforms, which quickly vanished as if they had melted into the night. No other information at the end. Ooh, okay, how many times have we wrung our hands about this mention of tight-fitting suits? Uniforms, whatever. A billion times. A billion times. I talk about it in almost every episode. And here's one of the really rare occasions where they say I don't care that color, loose-fitting uniforms. Loose-fitting. That's really odd. Okay, so security guard is patrolling a match, and he sees several small figures wearing loose-fitting uniforms, which quickly vanished as if they had melted into the night. Okay, and we're supposed to decide whether or not there's any credibility in the context of aliens. Okay, in the first place, even if he saw these little turquoisoids, he's not saying they came from a flying saucer, so that automatically disqualifies this for our specific purposes. And even if they did have a flying saucer, I don't really believe it anyway, so F them. Okay. Illinois-Wisconsin border, 1988, time 2300, 11 o'clock at night. Okay, the 15-year-old witness and his father were on a hunting expedition in an isolated area and were following a blood trail of a deer they had shot. That pisses me off. I'm sorry. I hunted most of my life, usually for food. I apologized to the critter before I shot it and after I shot it. And when I ate it, I thanked it. And these guys who go out and wound stuff, no, I don't like it. Because they can't shoot correctly, they have the wrong caliber, they have the wrong distance, they have ticks me off. I'm sorry. If you got to take a life, it should be instantaneous and painless. It just pisses me off. But that has nothing to do with aliens. Okay. They were in the middle of a field walking towards the tree line when who? The boy or the father? Oh, whatever. When he noticed a purplish glowing craft in the air above the middle of the woods, moving slowly to the right. Okay. I kind of like it when they say it. It moved, specifically to the right. That means maybe, possibly, they're actually visualizing, remembering what they saw. If he just said, well, it was moving slowly, I think, well, that leaves it open to the probability that you're just making it up. And it still might be. I mean, people with a good imagination, they're going to say, yeah, it was moving to the right, then it did this, and it went northeast. And it still could be bullshit, but it helps. It doesn't hurt their credibility, I'll put it that way. It quickly shot away from sight. Later, while the witness slept in the back of the truck, he woke up to find... Oh, I remember this one from 30 freaking years ago. Okay, this one gets weird. Okay. Oh, this is like a creepy story. This is like a... Oh. Where's the carpet sharks? Are they in bed already? Get them out. Get them out here. Get them out here, and let's go through this again. Turn the lights down. And put them all on the couch and tell them you're going to scare the living bejesus out of them. Tomorrow they have to go to the psychiatrist. But he'll have suckers, So that's all cool. I'm going to start it again because I remember the 15-year-old. Get them out here. Are they out here in their jammies? Wake them up if you have to, for God's sake. Come on, you little burgermeisters, carpet sharks. Come on, it's okay. Come on, we're going to tell a story. It's a beautiful story. There's a princess, and ain't no probing. Just a beautiful princess. She has long, blonde hair, and she's very lonely. And she's really, really tired of kissing the frogs, and they never turn into nothing. But one day, a handsome prince... No, wait, that's a different story. Okay, the 15-year-old witness. Are they ready?
Yeah, Mommy, we're ready, okay? We want to hear about the beautiful princess.
Okay, then. Here you go. Little ankle biters. The 15-year-old witness and his father were on a hunting expedition in an isolated area and were following a trail of a deer they had shot. Poor deer. It could have been Bambi. It could have been Bambi. No, don't cry. It's okay, Somebody has to eat Bambi. Bambi was going to get eaten sooner or later, right? You didn't think Bambi was going to live forever. Okay, but Bambi's going to be really, really tasty. It's okay. I think you ate Bambi last night. Did you have some meat with your dinner?
Yes, Mommy.
Well, then you ate Bambi, didn't you, you little spud? And Bambi was really, really good, right? Had some salt, maybe some ketchup, and maybe some steak sauce, like that.
Yeah, Bambi was really good, Mommy.
Okay, then. There you go. Bambi is good. They were in the middle of a field looking for Bambi. because they shot Bambi and they blew its leg off. You know, it was kind of an accident. A little too much caliber and a bad shot. Okay, so Bambi's three-legged now, but he's hopping. You know, he's doing his best. He's thinking he's going to walk that off. You know, he's going to recover from that. Okay, so they're in the middle of a field and they're walking towards the tree line when they noticed a purplish, glowing, flying saucer in the air above the middle of the woods, moving slowly to the right. And I be thinking, the aliens, the green, slimy, nasty aliens in that flying saucer, I think they know where Bambi is. And they're looking at Bambi through their little alien binoculars. And they're talking to each other. And one of them says, "Hey, Bob, look at that. It's a three-legged deer. You ever seen anything like that, Bob?" And Bob's like, "No. What the hell? What could have happened to that thing?" "Oh, look over there. Look over there. There's a couple of stupid human hunters." And they blew the leg off that poor little deer. Oh, those assholes. You want to hit him with a ray gun? Hit him, Bob. Hit him. And they say, "No, let's see what happens, you know. Let's see what they're going to do. But, you know, you want that deer or not? You want that deer?" And the other one says, yeah, sure, why not? You know, we always use the venison, you know. It's not very big, but it's missing that one leg, you know, so that not a lot of meat on the leg anyway. Yeah, okay, let's get it. And so this flying saucer, it's hovering over the middle of the woods, and it's thinking about how it can get down there and get Bambi, because they want to eat Bambi. The nasty green aliens, they want to eat Bambi. Then it quickly shot away from sight. So where's Bambi? Who got Bambi? The bad hunters or the bad aliens? Does it matter? Because both of them are going to eat Bambi, you know. It doesn't really matter. I sort of think it might be better if the humans ate Bambi, you know. But I can't tell why. Later, while the witness slept in the back of the truck, has he got Bambi or not? I think the aliens got him. Okay, so this bad shot hunter, he's sleeping in the back of his truck, waiting for Bambi to come or something. And he woke up to find several large-headed, large, black-eyed, gray figures, aliens, looking at him through the windows of the truck. Oh my God. You want to wake up and see that looking into your bedroom window there, little one?
No, Mommy, I'm scared.
Well, it serves you right, doesn't it? Because you've been kind of a little bitch lately. So now we're going to scare you 3/4 to death. And then we're going to laugh when you cry. Oh, we love to do this. No, Mommy. Oh. Okay. That's how it went in my house. I don't know much. Okay. He's sleeping in the back of his truck. And he wakes up and he sees several large-headed, large black eyes, gray figures looking at him through the windows of the truck. The same ones that look into your little bedroom windows every night. Pumpkin, have you seen them before?
No, Mommy, I don't want to see them.
Well, you're going to see them soon. You can't stop them. I cannot protect you from the aliens. They can do anything they want. If they want to eat Bambi, they can. If they want to eat you, You know, they can. There's nothing we can do, darling.
Oh, Mommy, I hate you.
Okay. Okay. Okay, the eyes felt piercing. Yeah, well, they would probably, you know. As the figures surrounded the car, oh, he's really screwed. He's really screwed. I know what's coming, maybe. He tried to wake up his dad. But his father was soundly asleep or in a coma. He wasn't sure. Maybe he was dead. Maybe they had already killed Papa. And he ain't never going to wake up again. Something made him open the back of the truck to get out. Well, yeah, I would. I'd go through the window. His memory gets a little fuzzy here, but he remembers the figures. Oh, God. He remembers the figures reaching out and touching his hands. Oh, God.
I didn't want them to touch me, Mommy.
Well, if they want to, they will, little girl. Mm-hmm. There appeared to be short and tall figures all around him. Oh, God. And they can go into bedrooms, too. And they do. But sometimes you're sleeping and you don't know it, but they touch you and touch you. And they have slimy tentacles like an octopus. Some of them look like a snake. They take their little tongue and they lick your face. I've seen it happen. Oh, God, it's terrible. And Mommy and Daddy are asleep and they cannot wake up. Oh, poor little pumpkin. I hope sometime they don't eat you like Bambi. But they might. And we cannot do anything at all. We will tell your teacher that you will never come to school again because, you know, the aliens ate you. But it's okay because then we will have more food for the rest of us. And we can take your stuff and we'll give it to your friends. You know that little girl you really, really hate with the red hair? The little bitch girl? We're going to give your toys to her. It's going to be funny. Okay. The creepazoids were all around him. His next recollection was waking up in the truck again. Okay. And his leg was gone because they ate it off. All right. We're supposed to figure out credibility or not. No, I think they're out there. You know, they're out hunting. They're bad shots. They shot the deer, blew its leg off. Then they see a light in the sky, probably an airplane. And then they go drink some whiskey, and they fall asleep in the truck. They have a really, really bad dream because Buddha makes them feel like crap for shooting the deer. And so he invades their dreams with, visions of monsters. And then they really do wake up. Finally, they wake up, really. Then they wrote down the dream. The kid wrote down the dream. And he said it was evidence of aliens. And the end. Okay, credibility or not, I'm not going to dignify this report with an answer. There you go. We'd be done. Okay, wait, there's... Oh, hell. No, I'm not going to read it. I'm done. That took a lot out of me. That really helped. I'm exhausted now. Okay. Thank you very much. Good evening. And we got two cameras going now to be redundant, so I'm just checking to see if Either of them are actually recording. You don't know. It's Microsoft. You don't know what can happen. You know what will probably happen? Probably it's going to be crap. Failure after failure, a cascade of failures forever and ever and ever. That's Microsoft. I think Gates should be in jail. Sorry, my opinion. In prison. In Brazil. For the damage that he's done. If it wouldn't have been for Gates, we would have had Linux. And Linux runs. It runs. If not for Gates, Linux would have taken over, and we would be able to run all the apps we need to run on Linux, and they would also run. But instead, Billy Boy stole Windows and then screwed it up. And now we have what we have. Okay. On that cheery note, thank you very much, and good evening, and good night.